From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. What an honor to have you guys with us today. CPAC getting underway right now in Dallas, Texas. And a lot happening over there today. By the way, we have some very special guests, including our good friend Liz Peek from Fox News. Also, our good buddies from Strategic Financial Partners will be along a little bit later on to talk about your financial issues, answering your questions about finances. And I'm really excited about a Memphis business owner who was invited by President Trump to be a part of this roundtable on how to make America safe again. His name is Tim Pew. He's the co-owner of Pew's Flowers, and we're excited to have him in the studio today. That is going to be a wonderful, wonderful conversation. By the way, write down our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Again, that number, 901-260-5926. So last night on the Todd Starnes Show on Newsmax, we had a really fascinating conversation with Glenn Beck, who has a great radio program. Many of you watch Glenn on The Blaze, and he has a very powerful new documentary out about the rise of Islam. And it's an issue that a lot of people in this country are not paying very much attention to. But quite frankly, I believe it is the absolute most important thing that we ought to be doing and that we ought to be focused on. Now, we've been covering it seems like quite a bit over the past couple of months, as we have seen many cities and towns fall under the control of the Islamists. Here in this country, we have seen many Democrats and, quite frankly, Republicans in states like Texas, for example, that are embracing Islam. As a matter of fact, today, the governor of New Jersey, a female, visited a mosque and she wore a full hijab. And at the end of the day, these folks are going to be very disappointed when they discover that the Islamists are not here to be our friends. They are here as conquerors. And their goal is to destroy the Christians and the Jews and to kill off the LGBT community. That's the ultimate goal here. And you've got a lot of folks in the social media world, and I'm not going to name names. I know many of you want me to name the names. I'm not going to name the names, and I want to explain why I'm not going to name the names, because I have suspicions. I do not have proof. But let me just ask you a question. This is sort of a hypothetical question here. If Todd Starnes one day, and for the past, 35 years, I guess when I really started following politics, maybe it was 40 years when I really started following politics. Geez, Lou, I'm old. Dylan, so I've been following politics for a long time. From day one, I've always been pro-life. And I've always been pro-Israel, always. And both of those things, by the way, they're not influenced by my politics as much as they are my faith. And my faith flavors everything I do, and it flavors my politics, which is why I became a Republican. And let's just say that just one day out of the blue, Todd Starnes announces that he is anti-Israel and that he is pro-choice. And all of a sudden, I have a multi-million-dollar beach home. And I'm also driving what's a big fancy car, Dylan? That people
Rolls Royce.
A Rolls Royce. Pulling up in a Rolls Royce. Ben Dieter's my chauffeur. What would you think happened there? No rhyme or reason. I've just one day woke up and decided that, you know what, I'm going to be pro-choice. I'm going to be pro or anti-Israel. And when people ask about it, you're like, well, I've had a change of heart. Really, is it really a change of heart, or is it possible, just possible, that I was influenced by a change in my bank account? So all that to say, I suspect that a lot of the people that are going out there and these podcasters and these social media influencers, and the reason why they have turned their back on not only Israel, not only America, but also President Trump, the reason they're doing that is because they are being influenced by the almighty dollar from Arab nations and possibly from people who hate this country and want to destabilize this country. Don't you think that's a possibility? That a lot of these people, for years I've been telling you about this, that a lot of the people that you see on TV in the conservative world, a lot of the podcasters you see are not really conservatives. They're just playing a part. They're grifting off of you. And a part of that grift has resulted in what is a fracture right now in the Republican movement. You guys can feel it, right? You can see it. And it pains me to say all of this. It really does, but it's not surprising. Now, there are many, for example, Mark Levin. Mark Levin didn't just wake up one day and be pro-Israel. That's the way he's always been. Mark Levin's opinions and values have never changed. If you've heard Mark Levin, I love Mark Levin, the great one. That's my Mark Levin impression. His opinions have never changed, but now all of a sudden you would think that he is some sort of, a double agent for Israel working against America. That's ridiculous. I'll give you another example. And again, all right, I said I was, no, I'm not going to mention that. I'm not going to mention names, but there's one in particular, and he's going after Mike Huckabee. Now, all of a sudden, Mike Huckabee, who's held the same set of beliefs that I've held, is now anti-American. Franklin Graham, now all of a sudden considered to be anti-American. You see where all of this is going. There is an effort to destroy the true leaders and the true influencers within the conservative movement and within the evangelical Christian community. That is a nefarious thing. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to just posit a theory here. Could it be possible that the Muslims, the Islamic radicals, who are incredibly well-funded, could it be that they are using some of these podcasters and social media influencers to not only infiltrate the Trump administration, which has been done, but also to divide all of us? And that's why it is so very important for you to make sure that you are doing your homework, you're researching, and you're coming to the table armed with facts and not what somebody is spewing at you from some sort of a podcast. Because they have millions and millions of followers, and it is having an impact. And I will say this, and we're going to get into the elections yesterday. President Trump, it's a black eye for the president when the state representative, the state lawmaker there, a Republican, lost to a Democrat. President Trump now represented in Florida by a Democrat, at least for right now. And you know what people are saying? Well, it doesn't really matter. These are special elections. They don't really matter. Republicans don't go out to vote for special elections. Why not? Why? No, is it possible? Is it possible that the fracture has resulted in demoralizing and destabilizing the Republican Party? Is it possible that Republicans just don't feel like getting up and going and voting right now? And that's why this has become an issue that we're going to talk about. So Glenn Beck joined me last night on my Newsmax show, and we had a long conversation about this. We're gonna play some of that in just a little while. But Glenn Beck believes that the rise of the Islamist is the most pressing issue facing our nation, and here's the reason why. Do you think the Islamists are going to stop with Belgium or France or the UK? Do you think they're going to be satisfied with conquering those nations? No, I don't believe so. Because those nations really aren't all that free. I mean, yes, they do have, there's a lot to admire and respect, and of course they're our allies, and I don't mean them anything except for the French, who just annoy me. But ultimately, the greatest prize for the Islamist is to conquer the United States of America. And you know how they're going to do that, folks? They're going to do that through empathy. There is a large swath of the Christian community here in this nation, and they're weak, they're limp-wristed, they're lily-livered, as we say in Mississippi. And they don't mean anything by it. That's just who they are. That is their nature. And they believe it's sort of like a church version of DEI. They believe that the diversity of the nation's religious community is what makes us stronger, when in fact it is exactly what is making us weaker. Because we are meant to be a Christian nation, and we're not going to go through all of that again today, but we have well documented this in many books about how our founding fathers meant for us to be a Christian nation. That doesn't mean forcing people to go to church, but it does mean that our guiding principles are all based on Holy Scripture. And as a result of that, you do have a choice to worship God or not worship God, and you're not going to get in trouble for that. Nobody's going to yell at you. You're not going to get in trouble if you're a Methodist or a Baptist or a Presbyterian or a Pentecostal. It doesn't matter. If you want to be a Hindu or a Buddhist, you can do that. So long as you don't blow the rest of us up, we don't care. But that philosophy only works under our form of government. And what have they been doing? They've been chipping away at it day after day after day. And Donald Trump steps in, and he's done a terrific job of shoring back up the foundations. But we've taken a lot of sucker punches, and the biggest, I think, was when the China virus happened and the government shut down our churches. Let me stop there. My apologies. We let the government shut down our churches. That was, I think, the turning point. So ultimately, the grand prize in the conquest is going to be the United States of America. That's what the Islamists want to destroy. They want to destroy our way of life, and they want to take over. They want to take over our nation. And Glenn is going to talk about this, and we're going to play some of the audio from that interview coming up at the bottom of the hour. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Another question here is why the Democrats, and why do you believe the Democrats keep winning these special elections? I mean, and of all places, Florida, there were two Republicans lost their races in, of all places, Florida yesterday. Why do you believe that is, and should we be concerned about that? Do you believe that we ought to be paying attention here? And if there's something broken, what needs to be fixed? Again, our number, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
He's a man of his word. Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile's been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. You know, Elizabeth, with everything going on in the world these days, it can feel like a lot of things are out of control, you know? But one thing I decided I could control was my health. I started taking Calitrin before bed, and I'll tell you, I'm starting to see the weight come off, and I'm feeling better, too.
And Todd, that's exactly what I love hearing, because most people think that they have to do something extreme to get healthier, and that's just not true. It's really about the small, consistent choices. And when you find something simple that you can stick with, like taking Calitrin at night, those little decisions start adding up in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just take Calitrin before bed. I'm starting to see results. It's from a family-owned American company. If spring has you thinking it's time to start feeling better and getting healthier, this is a great place to begin. And if you want to learn more, well, you can check it out at tophealthsource.com. That's tophealthsource.com. Be sure to use promo code Todd.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I saw in one part you had a statue of Jesus. Now, I know you laugh, but do you think that for many listeners, they would find that so deeply offensive to take a bat and to smash Jesus into pieces?
Wasn't it Madonna, by the way? No, it was... No.
There was one, I think, of Madonna, the Madonna and the child, and there was one of Jesus.
So that's a very good question, because I think it might offend people. I think in Belgium, not really. We're not a very religious country.
Anymore.
Definitely not the listeners of Studio Brussels, but what we did, all the things we smashed, we made it very clear as well that these were all things that were already broken. So the statue, it was turned face towards the back of the room, so you wouldn't see the face as well, because it was a broken statue as well. But I think I would have been more careful in another country, definitely. In Belgium, it is not a big issue.
Let me ask you this, if you were doing the video again, would you smash a symbol of the Prophet Muhammad?
That is a very dangerous one.
You wouldn't do it. Why not?
No, because that would be inappropriate, because in Belgium there are many...
But there are Christians too. I know the Pope visited Belgium recently.
No, I know there are Christians, but it's... since we are all from the Christian tradition, I think it's like laughing with yourself. Or like...
But you would never do it with Muhammad?
No.
Oh. Star of David for Judaism?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
No.
All right, there you have it. Those are Belgium radio hosts. Christians, fair game, but whoa, Nelly, we're not going to be talking about the Muslim. No, we're not. No, please. Radio hosts go boom. Nobody wants that. Let's go to the phone lines here, 901-260-5926. Bob is calling in from Ocala, Florida, WOCA, our great affiliate there. Bob, what in the world is going on in your state?
Well, Florida is pretty decent. It has its defects, but it's a pretty decent place. I want to talk to you about New York. I was an elected official in New York, and so I keep in touch. And many of the people that I know of that were good conservatives have moved out of New York, and this is what the supervisor in the town I came from has told me, and we were discussing politics, and I said, well, what's the Democratic Party going to do about this? And he looked at me and he said, there is no Democratic Party here. I says, what? He says, no, there's no Democratic Party. He said the town board wants to put their live-in partners on the health insurance and have the taxpayers paid for the health insurance. And I said, well, how can that happen? He says, well, the people that have been elected to the town board are really not Republicans anymore. They're the Democrats. The Democrats have taken over the town board. And so what I just want to tell you is that it's not a big step for the Muslims who have taken over the Democratic Party to now step over and take over the Republican Party. And so that's what I wanted to tell you.
Well, Bob, I appreciate you calling in, and let me just say this: that when you do look at the Democrat Party, they have surrendered to the Muslims. There's no doubt about that. And of course, we're seeing that play out in many American cities. I suspect we're going to be seeing many more Islamists who are being elected to office, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Republicans are just terrified. Republicans don't want to be labeled as Islamophobic. So I'm not terribly surprised by that. But I'm curious, what do you folks think is going on here? Because since President Trump was elected, Democrats so far have flipped more than 24 seats in Republican or battleground states, including Arkansas, by the way, and New Hampshire. Republicans, on the other hand, have not captured any Democrat seats at all. So Democrats are making gains. And the argument is, well, this just always happens. Really? Is that it? Or is there something else going on here? 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Great if life came with a remote control. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And this is the Todd Starnes Radio Show, and we are so happy that you have decided to hang out with us noon to 3 Eastern on more than 130 radio stations across this great nation. By the way, today you can officially purchase a Kindle version or an e-version of my brand new book, which will be out in the spring. It's called The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. And you can get yourself a Kindle version, or we're also working on an audiobook. But right now you can order a hardcover edition, or you can get yourself an e-version of the book. Go to Barnes & Noble or Amazon, wherever you buy your books, and you can pre-order online today. Again, the name of the book, The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. And the president wrote a nice little blurb. I thank you, Mr. President. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, also endorsing the book, along with a number of other lawmakers and religious leaders, and we're just mighty thankful for all of them. So look, here's the situation, circling back to what Glenn Beck is very concerned about. He believes that we are living in the end of days. He believes when you look at all of the signs that we are living in the time of the rapture. And you'll hear him talking about this. The starting off point was the fact that the Islamists desecrated the 9/11 memorial for firefighters in New York City when they draped the memorial with Muslim prayer rugs. They know what they were doing. I do not find that to be coincidental at all or incidental. Here's the conversation with the great Glenn Beck. Well, joining me now is Glenn Beck, host of the Glenn Beck program, founder of The Torch, and he has a very important documentary out exposing the Islamist blueprint for conquering the West. Glenn, good to see you. I'm just curious, what do you make of what happened at Fire Department headquarters there in New York City?
Not knowing any of the groups involved, I would only be speculating. But after doing this documentary, it took us 4 months to make it, and after putting it together, I just don't believe that there's such a thing as a coincidence. I mean, it is a stated goal to turn America into an Islamic state. Get rid of our Constitution, our constitutional freedoms, and it is a very well-laid plan. I mean, on the documentary, we showed that a group that was actually tied to the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a terrorist organization, was scheduled to meet with George Bush in the Oval Office on 9/11, 2001. It was supposed to happen at 3:05 in the afternoon, and that just shows access. They have been working on access for a very, very long time.
I had Senator Tommy Tuberville on the show just last week. I want to play a bit of our conversation about this issue. I'm just wondering, do you have any regrets by what you posted?
No, I don't have any regrets whatsoever, Todd. The enemy is inside our gates. We got them here. Joe Biden and Barack Obama brought them here by the thousands. It's a disgrace. If you preach or teach Sharia law, you need to go home.
Yeah, Glenn, I know a lot of folks saw that. What do you think about what the senator just said there?
100% agree. If you're into Sharia law, that is absolutely un-American. It's not constitutional. And remember, Sharia law is a political and governmental base. It's not religious. When we're talking Islamists, you're not talking a religion. You are talking about a political movement to overthrow countries and take control of the country. Sharia law, we cannot have two sets of laws. We can't. You will not survive. England is going through this. Germany is going through this. If we don't wake up now, they're about maybe 5 years ahead of us. But as the documents show that we showed on my special, America is the number one target. For a global caliphate, they must have America, and they are targeting it, and it's time we take it seriously. After 9/11, all we paid attention to were the explosions and the terror vests and the bombs and the airplanes and everything like that. We did not pay attention. In fact, we've ignored what is happening in our own communities. Dearborn, how about Minnesota? What is happening? This is not a coincidence. They are not melting into our society. This is a problem because for many, the goal is Sharia law.
So Glenn, I want to talk about the documentary here, Exposing the Islamist Blueprint for Conquering the West. And again, it is available exclusively on The Torch. You say that we're sort of missing the real long game strategy here. Again, everybody wants to focus on 9/11 or, the recent terror attacks. But what do you mean by the long-term strategy, long game here?
Global caliphate. You remember the days when I had a chalkboard years ago, and I put on the chalkboard Islamists, socialists, communists, radicals, anarchists will work together to destabilize the Middle East, Europe, and America to overthrow the Western world. And everyone said that was crazy on so many fronts. One, they would never work together. The Green-Red Alliance, I didn't even know what that was. I'm not even sure it was named that when I first put that chalkboard up. It is the alliance of the Marxists, those radicals, along with the green radicals, which are the Islamists, the ones who want Sharia law. They are working hand in hand because they have one goal in hand, and that is destruction of the Western world, the destruction of capitalism. It is well documented. I mean, go to Stop the Conquest. If you watch the special, I think on Thursday, I'm coming out with a handbook on it that gives you all of the documents in their own words, what they are saying they're doing to America. In 1999, I was on the air at WABC, and I actually stood up for the action that Bill Clinton took when he bombed the aspirin factory. I don't know if you remember that. And the reason why I said, he's going after a guy named Osama bin Laden. And I had not heard of him before, but I looked him up that day and I read his words. And no one took me seriously then. And I said, I'm telling you, within 10 years, there will be blood, bodies, and buildings in the streets of Manhattan, and it will have his name on it. That was 1999. 2001, we saw his work. The same warning I issue now. They are telling us what they're doing. In their own words, they're telling us what they're doing to the West. We must pay attention. Have to.
Glenn, here's what concerns me. I'm an evangelical, and I don't see our evangelical churches standing up en masse to this fight, even so much as educating Christians about what the Islamists really want. I think we're certainly seeing a robust experience, people going back to the Catholic Church, but do you see the Christian community at large here in America understanding what I consider to be a clear and present danger?
So I will tell you, I'll go further than you will, and probably most will, and probably what's good for me. But I believe there is a possibility that we are living in the end of days. Especially what's happening with the 12ers in Iran. I've been talking about them for 30 years. They were so radical that the Ayatollah Khomeini said they could not be part of the revolution, which, by the way, the revolution to overthrow Iran was Marxist taking the colleges and the Islamists taking all of the religious, combining and overthrowing. And then after the Islamist revolution with the Marxists, they killed all the Marxists. But anyway, the 12ers are so dangerous because they believe that the 12th Imam, the Mahdi, is coming. And when you wash the world in blood, the Mahdi will come, and that will bring it'll bring Jesus, who they believe will testify to Allah and say to Christians, you're on the wrong side. They are right now, many of the 12ers in Shia Islam are saying that Donald Trump is the Dajjal, the Antichrist. They are fighting a religious battle. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. They are.
Right.
Thomas Jefferson said, our first foreign war was with the Barbary pirates, the Muslims. He didn't understand. He got the Quran, read the Quran, printed the Quran. I have one of the first American copies in English of the Quran from Jefferson. He put a warning in there. One of the things he said at the end of that war, because we didn't finish the job, he said, we must pay attention to these people. He said, they are serious about their religion. This is our first foreign war, and if we're not careful, it will be America's last foreign war.
Making radio great again. The Todd Starnes Radio Show.
At a time when technology is often used to distort truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI created to help you understand God's Word and grow in your faith. Many Christians have tried using online AI tools for Bible questions, only to get vague, misleading, or even unbiblical answers. That concern is real. Technology untethered from truth can quickly lead to confusion. That's exactly why Leading the Way created My Faith Assistant. This isn't a generic chatbot. It's a closed, theologically vetted system built on Scripture, seminary-level resources, and more than 50 years of faithful teaching from pastor and scholar Dr. Michael A. Youssef. My Faith Assistant can help you get personalized guidance, clear theological answers, trusted biblical teaching, access to pastors and prayer teams, and deeper Bible study, all in one place. Over 50,000 people already trust it. It's free, requires no login, and it's built not for clicks, but for Christ. Try it now at myfaithassistant.com.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better, you know what I'm saying? And just mentally, knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do. Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, let's try to work in some calls here. 901-260-5926. I'm telling you, I've got so much material to talk about it. We're going to try to get it all in. But, Dylan, before we go to the phones, I got to tell you, guess who's going to be on the Newsmax show? This is very exciting.
Who?
Tonight on Newsmax. The guy from High Point University on the basketball team, the guy who scored the shot.
Oh, yeah.
That took them, they beat, was it, who did they beat? Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. So that dude is going to be on the show tonight.
That's awesome.
I'm going to tell him, I had you guys in the brackets.
There you go.
I was the true believer.
One of the two teams that you actually wrote down.
It's
you
true.
Have to say that.
I also wrote in the Mormons.
Yeah.
But I don't think that counts. No offense to the Donnie and Marie and the Osmonds.
That's exciting, though.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. 5 o'clock Eastern. All right, let's go to the phones here. Robert in Georgia. Robert, what is on your mind?
Well, I feel that the cancer in our country is the Democratic Party. They're demon-possessed.
So you believe the Democrats are demon-possessed. Is that right, Robert?
Yes, and only an idiot can't see it.
Give me what are some clues? You're making this assertion here that, and I'm not disagreeing with you because I call them demon rats myself, but what is it that clued you in that these folks are demon-possessed?
Schumer needs to go to a nursing home. And what Biden and the Democratic Party has done to this country, letting these people in, is treasonous. He should be put before a firing squad and shot.
Well, Robert, here's the deal. If anybody's committed treason and it is, and they've got the evidence, I got no problem putting them on trial, and whatever the law says we ought to do. But you've got to go through the court process for something like that. Robert, thanks for the call. That sort of escalated quickly, did it not, Dylan? I'm just
a little bit, yeah.
So.
It is what it is.
Hey, it's hump day. What are you going to do?
It is.
Yeah. Let's go to Ron in Salem, Oregon, listening to us on KYKN. Ron, what's on your mind?
Oh, man, you need to play chef because I'm going to tell you right now, what our problem is, I'm watching Michael Steele 2.0 with the RNC chairman, and I've been involved with the Republican Party for 10 years. And I'm going to tell you right now, this top-down mentality, we're in the Pharisee seats, everything's good because we got an election, and we're 0-12, not counting the 13th when we lost the congressional seat down in Tarrant, Texas. It's wrong. It's complacency. It's just like what Ben Franklin said: if you forsake your liberties for security, you deserve neither. And they're just going along and just saying we know what's best. Grassroots don't know much, and if Laura Trump and Michael Watley, who ran the RNC, they was always proactive, even before they even took the seats, and discussed things and try to rally the base, the grassroots, and trusted and listened. And the point is, when we're going as far as when people have conversations, you think I'm going to use Zoom with China giving information to DSA to the Democrats and your enemies? No.
Ron, may I ask?
Be proactive.
Ron, may I ask you a question? Do you hear music somewhere, Ron? Is that just me?
Oh, yes, really?
Uh-oh.
Right on, brother. I'm telling you right now, I'm ready to dance.
Uh-oh. I'm getting my soul on.
Oh, yes. We better get the soul train dancers out right now. Hey, don't have to get BB.
Hey, now. Shut your mouth.
Right, Bob.
Right. Keep that going there, Dylan. Ron, it's interesting because when you raise a great point, and I do wonder if these Republicans really do want to win, and I'm leaning towards a national conspiracy where they're trying to sabotage Trump and they want to shut down his agenda.
I exactly agree with you because here's the point. They're like the Pharisees in Jesus Christ's time. They'll rather sit in seats and appease Jezebel and Ahab's and Caesars and say they're doing something while they let the people suffer and be deceived by the devil's intents.
I think, Ron, what you're trying to say is that the Republicans are giving President Trump the shaft.
That's right. I'm sad to say, but we need Jesus. All it takes is a grain of sand. We can get power. We have the history. We have the Bible. And we got to have a little season of faith. And if we can go through and talk to the people instead of trying to use data and media, what they're doing in my state, and think that's going to get you across the finish line. When I talked to over 484 people since October, over 6,400 since 2021, no matter Democrat, Republican, Americans. And the three things they say is law and order. Don't mutilate our children. Parental rights. And at the same time, we got, with President Trump opening up 2.5 million acres.
All right, brother man. Brother man, we got to leave it, Ron.
you, brother.
All right. Good man right there. Dylan, how long is this intro?
It's got 20 more minutes left.
Sweet Lord. We're going to have to ask for another hour.
Who's the black private dick?
Oh, here it
sex machine to all the chicks.
Todd. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Shaft.
Damn right. Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man?
Donald
Can you
Trump.
dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it. Maybe we need a new theme song for the Todd Starnes Show.
I would not be opposed to this.
Right? I mean, I've got a little bit of soul. I've got some rhythm.
Yeah, it would take away half your segment, but you could do it.
Could you imagine poor Marsha Blackburn? You know what, though? She'd be sitting in her office. She'd be doing a little bit of a move. She's got the move. Come on, Marsha. You know she's a good dancer.
I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm. It's true. That's the rumor. I'm just saying. All right. Thank you, Dylan. Oh, my word. What? We've already lost control of the show. This is not good. By the way, coming up in just a few moments, we're excited to introduce you to a great American patriot, one of the top business owners in Memphis, and President Trump invited him to be a part of this incredible roundtable on crime in Memphis. Tim Pew, co-owner of Pew's Flowers. By the way, is it true that the lovely Helen, our call screener, got flowers today from
This
Pew's?
is true. Yeah.
Wow.
Confirmed.
Very nice. Liz Peek is going to be joining us as well. Also, our good buddies from Strategic Financial Partners are going to be along with that, as well as Jeff Stein from KXEL, who's just texted me, and I have no idea why, but he's sending me photographs. So we'll fill you in on all of that. That sounded weird, didn't it? Didn't know it. Oh, I think it's a pork cutlet. We have some very interesting folks that follow this show. All right, hang tight, everybody. Hour 2 of the big show coming up. No, that's not a euphemism. It really is a giant pork cutlet. We'll be right back, everybody.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements. Our ingredients are 16 whole fruits, 15 whole vegetables, 4 powerful fibers, and 12 aromatic spices. It's one irresistible combo.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time, and she said, "Oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature." So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, "Oh, try it."
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
No, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
Jesus is not welcome in a New York high school because educators say our Lord is not inclusive. Kennedy Canales is a student at Plattsburgh Senior High School. She petitioned leadership to start a Jesus Club. School leaders signed off on another kid's secular club, but the Jesus Club was rejected. Kennedy was told that her club was not inclusive. Instead, they recommended a more generic name like the Faith Club. They said the club could not be overtly Christian. Now, the American Center for Law and Justice now representing Kennedy. They say the school violated the Equal Access Act. Under the law, public schools must allow religious clubs equal terms. So if you let the non-Christians have a club, you got to let the Christians have a club. The law mighty clear. And the notion that Jesus is not inclusive is simply not true. The Bible clearly quotes our Lord as offering a personal invitation to everybody. Come unto me all who are weary and burdened. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us. Hour 2 of the conversation underway. Got some notes in the break about the Glenn Beck interview we did in the last hour. If you missed a portion of that, you can download our podcast. Go to toddstarnes.com. That is a free podcast for you there, and you'll be able to listen to all of that conversation with Glenn, who, by the way, is going to be joining us on the radio live for a very long-form conversation. So we're working out all the details there. CPAC, hopefully we'll see you guys down there in Dallas, scheduled to lead a panel tomorrow on faith and politics. So those are the two topics you're really not allowed to talk about or shouldn't talk about, but we're going to be talking about them at CPAC tomorrow in Dallas. By the way, our telephone number, if you want to weigh in on the conversation today, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Well, crime has been a big issue across the nation. I think a number of George Soros style district attorneys, soft on crime, defending the criminals and treating victims as if they're the bad guys. And it has been mayhem in our country. As a matter of fact, Memphis, Tennessee, the deadliest city in America, the most violent city in America, a city controlled for decades by the politics and the policies of the Democrats. President Trump was on this very radio program. I told him about how bad things were. He promised he would look into it. And a few months later, National Guard boots on the ground here in the Bluff City. Well, a few days ago, I was invited to visit with the president backstage before his roundtable discussion in Memphis. We had a wonderful conversation. And for the president, ultimately everything sort of falls back to business. And when you've got high crime, you've got bad business. It's not good for business. And so a part of the roundtable, the president invited one of the most prominent businessmen in Memphis to be a part of the conversation. His name is Tim Pew, and he is the co-owner of Pew's Flowers. And it's a wonderful flower shop, and we utilize them for all sorts of things, and they do a wonderful job. And Tim is joining us in studio in Memphis today. Tim, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
So congratulations. That must have been quite the experience being up there on the podium with the President of the United States.
It was amazing. First time I'd ever done anything like that. I don't know how well I did, but it was amazing to meet him and all the people on the panel and backstage.
So you had a chance did you have a chance to talk to the President one-on-one?
Not a lot. Most of the other people hung around for a while. They had said before we met, my wife actually said, "Do you think I'll meet Trump?" And he said, "Well, he really wants to go to Graceland after, so he may head out the back door afterwards," which he did. I briefly talked to him for a minute or two. He told me, "Good job. I'm proud of you." Just really nice guy.
You know, the whole day, it was just somewhat surreal, but to see, Memphis on display really for the whole nation. I'm just curious, the message that you brought for folks that maybe were not watching it in real time, what was the message that you brought to the president?
Well, they had asked me, we have, of course, our flower business and our landscape business, and we've been affected by crime. We've had vans stolen. We'd go up to somebody's door, deliver flowers, turn around, and the van would be gone. It's ridiculous. We've had trucks stolen at gunpoint from our landscape drivers. We've had to make sure we lock equipment on a job site while we're there. We've had to put cameras and electric fence around our main store for all our landscape equipment and trucks. So it's affected us, and I've been here all my life. My parents were raised here. So we go way back in Memphis, and so the crime is an issue for everyone. I didn't want to go and get political, but if Biden had sent the task force again and invited me, I'd have gone. And so I knew I'd get some backlash, but I went and I was proud to do it. And I told them that the crime is way down.
Have you noticed that? I mean, from your employees, the folks that are out there, have they noticed that there's been a drop in crime?
This was about a month ago. some of the girls that work, the flower designers, they're in their 20s. They came back on a Monday, and I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all so excited. He goes, we went to Bill Street last night. She goes, it's the safest place we've ever been. They had their pictures taken with the FBI, the National Guard, and they said, we felt so safe. We hadn't been in years. So, I mean, just things like that you hear all around. We were having, as you probably know, carjackings almost on a daily basis where I wouldn't let my wife go pump her own gas. And now I haven't heard of one.
You see, people, when they hear that, they're like, no, that can't be. Really? In America? But that was our way of life.
It was, and it was everywhere. Good parts of town, bad parts of town. So you wanted to pump gas before it got dark, and you always look at your surroundings, and it has really changed.
Oh, here's one for you. When I had just moved back from living in New York City for 15 years, moved back to Memphis, and I was at the traffic light in front of the Ruth's Chris, which is a really nice part of town. And the light turned, and the car in front of me did not move. So I just did a little, the love tap. As soon as I did, the gun comes out the side of the car. And the driver was, fortunately, I guess he was in a good mood and didn't shoot me. But you're like, geez, Lou, you just don't think about those kinds of things happening in an American town.
No, but it really happened in Memphis. I would tell my wife, she gets all frustrated in traffic and will hold her hands up. And I'm like, Christy, you know what that means. And so you cannot do that. Just be quiet and pay attention and let them go in front of you or whatever. Just be calm.
That's it. You got to do what you got to do. But again, after a while, you almost, I think for the mom who was there, and she told her story originally on the radio station, KWAM, our station here in Memphis, and then came on our Newsmax show. And the idea that she could let her kid play in the front yard and she could sit on her front porch and drink iced tea, that really moved a lot of people, I think.
It did. I mean, that's the way we grew up. I went to a public school out in Raleigh, Craigmont High School, and we just didn't have the crime then. You just didn't think about it. As probably when we were kids, we left the house on a summer morning and you came home for dinner, then you left again till your curfew, and your parents had no idea where you were, but they weren't too worried about you.
That's right. That's right. Don't come back home till the street lights come on.
Exactly. Nowadays, you want to make sure your kid has their cell phone and you're checking where they are always.
And I think the president did a great job of conveying that this is a universal problem with this. It's not a black problem or a white problem. It's an everybody problem. And we all want the same things for our kids. We don't want them to get shot at going to a park like the poor little 7-year-old boy that was robbed at gunpoint of his $10. People should not have to live like that.
No, they shouldn't. And, like even if you're in school, we knew the top 10 kids that made all the trouble. You get rid of those top 10, you've got a safe school. It's the same thing in the city. They know the top 500 criminals. You get them off the streets, and you don't have the crime anymore.
Tim Pew is joining us here in studio. He is the co-owner of Pew's Flowers, P-U-G-H, Pew's Flowers. And you guys do deliver nationally, right?
We do.
I'm just going to tell you, every Monday we get these incredible flower arrangements sent to us here at the radio. Just unbelievably gifted and talented the designers are that you guys have.
Well, thank you. It's a family business. It's me, my 2 brothers, and our landscape company and flower shops. My 3 children work in it. My niece works in the business, so it's truly a family business.
So tell me, you mentioned it's a family business, and you guys have been here for so very long. Tell us about how the Pew's story started here.
Well, it's been 50 years this year. My father was a banker in the mid-'70s, got tired of bureaucracy and politics and banking, and quit one day. He'd worked at a flower shop in high school here in Memphis and decided he would buy a small flower shop. And so he did in the late 70s, and then about 7-8 years later, he suddenly got cancer and passed away. So I was 19, my brother was older. We decided to ask my mom and his partner if they would take a note and let us buy it. So they did. So it's me, my 2 brothers. A few years later, we needed to grow, make more money. There's 3 of us, so my younger brother started a landscape and brought that in with us, and so it's grown a lot.
And that's really what I want, the radio station to be, KWAM. I moved back home, bought the news radio station, and I really felt it was important for us to have a local station, a locally owned radio station, so we could talk about the issues that a lot of other stations are not allowed to talk about by their corporate overlords. And one of those was, in fact, crime. And I think our lawmakers understood when people would be calling in to the radio shows or going on our social media platforms, they realized, oh, wait a second, this is a lot worse off than we thought it was.
Yeah, you really don't realize if you're around the country in your own little world. We would constantly tell our children, there's no need to go downtown on Friday night, or you don't need to go downtown or Saturday night. Just stay out east or whatever. And so you worried about them. Now it's really changed. You feel it's different. You know the statistics, crime is down way over 40% and 50% in some categories. But you can feel it now.
You can feel it, right? You're absolutely right. You can feel it. It's I don't know, the Gen Zers call it a vibe. I mean, it's a great vibe. Did I use that correctly, Dylan?
Almost.
Are we vibing?
No, you're
what
good.
Is,
yeah, it's good.
No, you got to help us. Tim and I, we're kind of the same age.
The vibe is good. The vibes are right.
What are the vibes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Got to learn from my children. They're in their 20s. So.
I tell you, it's tough. It's tough. But thank you for that, Dylan.
But it does. Now you don't worry about your kids as much. You don't see the cars going around the expressway at 110 miles an hour, almost cutting you off. And the highway patrol came in a few months ago, very strong, and it's all of everybody together. Memphis Police, Shelby County Police, they're all working together, which is making it work. I was at Target about a month ago, and in the parking lot there was Memphis Police, Shelby County Police, FBI, National Guard. They're all in a big group, just talking, kind of laughing, huddled up, hanging out. And you're like, God, that's perfect. They're all doing the same thing.
That's what it's all
same
about.
Goal. Yeah.
I know our good buddy Jim Lasapio. He owns Rum Boogie down on Beale Street, Dale's over in South Haven, and there you walk into those restaurants or pubs or whatever, you're going to get a free meal if you're wearing a uniform. And I just love how the business community has really embraced the National Guard and the task force, but not just the business owners giving free food or chiropractor work or whatever, but also the citizens, just saying thank you. And one of the things that really bothered me, and somebody sent me a note about this yesterday, all the media coverage, they did not mention how many people in, like, for example, the minority communities were out there saying, welcome to Memphis, President Trump. They didn't put those folks on the TV.
And I think, crime is not political, only for politicians. So I was at Walmart on Winchester in Hickory Hill part of town Sunday before last, and there was National Guard in there. And no matter what color you were, everybody was happy to see them because they're like, oh, probably not going to be any crime in here today.
Right. It's a great point. Now, that being said, so the president invited you as a patriotic American. You accepted the invitation. And it was a wonderful event, and it really wasn't about politics. It was just about fixing crime and dealing with crime here. And I understand you've actually been getting blowback for being on that panel. Is that true?
Yes, I went on there because I love Memphis. My family lives here. My new grandbaby lives here. I want it to be safe. So I knew anything you do that has a Trump name on it, there's going to be people that go crazy. So I knew it before I went on, but I said, even if it was Joe Biden and he brought a huge task force to Memphis and made us safer, I would do the same. So I thought, well, it's not going to be political, even though it's probably going to be perceived that way. So I went on and told them what I thought, that my family lived here, and it is safer. I said, I get an email every Friday from the mayor. We all do, if you're subscribed to it, and he talks about crime statistics. Last Friday, he said it's well down over 40 and 50%. So that wasn't me saying it. That's me, the mayor, saying it, and I can feel it, and I said that. And so I didn't go as political. I was excited to go, of course. And it was a lot of fun.
And you've gotten some blowback, though.
Oh, I've gotten a lot. Well, I had to get off social media because I've been getting a lot of blowback, which I knew I probably would. My daughter, she's my big protector, so she's been going on there. She finally had to get off, too. I said, let's just all get off, and maybe it'll blow over.
Well, no, and it will. It will. And I think the average folks, here in Memphis, they love you guys, and we all feel the same way about the crime situation, and I know our national audience as well. And like I said, folks, Pew's Flowers does deliver nationally, and I want to give their website address. I want you to write this down. So if you want flowers, we use these guys, and they're just so wonderful. Pews.com, Pughs.com, Pews.com. And why don't you show them some love and check out the great flower arrangements they have. So, again, we just appreciate what you guys are doing to make Memphis great.
Thank you so much, Todd. I mean, it's all about our beautiful city.
It really is. It really is. We have great flowers here, and we got great chocolate. You know, Becky Dinstal's a big fan of the radio show.
Yeah, she's great.
So,
they have great candy.
You guys, you guys are the combo platter for a great Valentine's Day or Mother's Day.
Well, we try.
All right. Well, we sure appreciate you coming on today, and we wish you guys nothing but the very best, and thank you for being a part of that great roundtable.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We've got to take a quick break here, folks. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Again, that's 901-260-5926. I want you to, we're going to give out the website address a few more times, pews.com, PUGHS.com. Go check them out. Get some flowers. Tim Pew and his great team are going to take very good care of you. We'll be right back, everybody.
This is the Todd Starnes Show.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder. As soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
At a time when technology is often used to distort truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI created to help you understand God's Word and grow in your faith. Many Christians have tried using online AI tools for Bible questions, only to get vague, misleading, or even unbiblical answers. That concern is real. Technology untethered from truth can quickly lead to confusion. That's exactly why Leading the Way created My Faith Assistant. This isn't a generic chatbot. It's a closed, theologically vetted system built on Scripture, seminary-level resources, and more than 50 years of faithful teaching from pastor and scholar Dr. Michael A. Youssef. My Faith Assistant can help you get personalized guidance, clear theological answers, trusted biblical teaching, access to pastors and prayer teams, and deeper Bible study, all in one place. Over 50,000 people already trust it. It's free, requires no login, and it's built not for clicks, but for Christ. Try it now at myfaithassistant.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, coming up, Liz Peek's going to drop by. We're talking politics. Wrote a little something that got me in trouble on Twitter last night. I will share all of that as well. But I want to circle back here. May I just say that the Pews family here in the Memphis, Tennessee area, they are just as good as gold. And it really angered me that you've got the leftist mob. And the only thing that he did was accept an invitation from the president. That's it. And this is just an incredible business owner. They do so much good for our community. But let me just tell you something. I'm not I'm not a visual flower kind of a guy, but I know what looks good, right? I'm not one of these, abstract artist guys, where you got all this crap plastered on the wall and, I don't know, whatever, and they call it modern art. But I know when I see something that looks beautiful, it's like, I know that is like, wow, that's beautiful. And these guys do it with their flower arrangements, and they are just unbelievable. They're really stunning. And every Monday, they deliver a beautiful arrangement to us here at our news bunker. And I want you to go to their website because they have a lot of great Easter flowers, Mother's Day coming up, and I know many of you order your flowers. I want you to order it from a family that loves America, and they are patriotic. And that's what we do on this program is we support patriotic businesses in this country. So again, the website address is pews.com, PUGHS.com, and you'll see their slogan, Bask in Beauty, the first fragrance of springtime. So just take a big, that smells good. Yeah, the flowers smell great too. Anyway, pews.com, go check them out, order something, show them some love. We need to stand alongside our patriotic businesses. Liz Peek coming up next.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS. Or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh. Really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. I want to go right away to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line and say hello to our good friend Liz Peek. She is the proprietor of LizPeek.com and also one of my favorite writers in America. Liz, hope you're doing well today.
I am, although I have to tell you I'm very concerned about this Democrat upset in South Florida, which you know, it's a local seat. It's a state seat in Florida, but it is exactly the kind of outcome, Todd, that people in Florida, people in Texas are panicked over. these states where you've had this huge influx of Democrats fleeing the high taxes and unaffordable living in New York and New Jersey and Illinois and California. They arrive in places like Texas and Florida, and what do? Lifelong Democrats, they revert to form, and they start voting Democrat. I mean, it's really an unbelievably stupid, mindless thing to do, but that's what's going on. And, you know, I think people are really concerned about it. I'm concerned about it. Having bought a place in Florida, the last thing you want is for everything to turn around and, you know, Florida start looking like New York. And I know this is like, you know, only one indicator, but it's sort of like the nose under the tent, right?
Well, look, we talked about this earlier in the show. We actually had a guy who lives in the Ocala area who was from New York, and he's a good guy. He's a Republican, and he maintained his Republican status when he moved to Florida. But he said this is a big problem. And when you I was looking at some of the data from last night, Liz, and the issue was not Republicans not showing up. The Republicans showed up in their regular numbers, but the problem was, you know, there were just a lot more Democrats who voted. Now,
sure.
People tell me, Starnes, we don't have anything to worry about. However, Liz, according to the New York Times, more than 24 seats have flipped since the presidential election, and they've all flipped in favor of the Democrats and not the other way. What is going on here?
Well, you know, I think that it's one thing to have Trump on the ballot, as we did last year in 2024, I should say, a year and a half ago, and he carried a great many candidates. I think that is a fair statement. He was popular, and he campaigned on popular issues. People were very concerned about the open border of Joe Biden, concerned about law and order. And so I think Trump was a very powerful, positive element. And now what the New York Times would say, and I don't think you can totally dispute this, there is such hatred for this president now. Yes, his base is intact, but the other side is like brainless. I mean, the fury and anger and hatred being directed at Donald Trump is actually something incredible to me. And when you see people on the progressive left, people like Chris Murphy, who is a really detestable senator from Connecticut, talking about how ICE agents are going to go into the airports and they're going to kill people. I think he literally said that. Or, you know, others sort of talking about how Iran is the worst mistake we've ever made. This, while our men and women in uniform are over there trying to win a war, you just have to sort of say people are unbalanced on the other side. And there is enormous amounts of misinformation, pure out and out lies about the Trump administration, about what they're doing, et cetera, about ICE. And you know, so I think a lot of people who don't really do their own homework and don't really try to get to the bottom of all these issues, they really hate Donald Trump. And they're trying to act out by voting against a Republican that has any kind of endorsement. This guy, Maples in South Florida, was endorsed by Donald Trump. And I've seen ads by him. He's a very attractive black businessman. I have no idea why he lost. And you, I think, have done more research. I am just beginning to read it, but it's pretty discouraging.
It is discouraging. And, you know, again, though, I just think these are wake-up calls. When you look at what happened, look at what happened in Virginia and the elections. And I think there the Republicans there seems to be a bit of a groundswell now to stop the redistricting effort. But that is going to be problematic for us in the midterms. And again, I'm with you. I do think this hatred of Donald Trump. But Liz, I'm also wondering about, you know, these, and I wanted to do the name calling, but the social media influencers and the podcasters, do you think that's causing rifts in the America First movement, the conservative movement?
You know, I tend to discount that, and perhaps at my peril, because I find these people, and I will name them, Tucker Carlson and the others who are Candace Owens and so forth, who are so loud and so strident in their now, their sort of anger at Donald Trump for engaging with Iran, for trying to suppress 7 years of terror in the Middle East. But they seem like wingnuts to me. And I really can't, I would love to think that conservatives generally are too smart to think that Israel is the master puppet pulling the strings. Has anyone ever tried to pull Donald Trump by the nose to do anything? Nobody. I mean, the biggest complaint about Donald Trump and his inner circle is that no one can convince him to do anything. He wants to do what he wants to do. So the idea that Bibi Netanyahu is behind our getting into a war in the Middle East, I think it's crazy. I actually think these people are slightly lunatic. And they are driven, Todd, by the fact that they have to create their own revenues. They have to create their own presence. And and you and I both know, the more outrageous you are, the bigger footprint you have these days. And sadly, that's true on the right as well as on the left. And I refuse to go there. I think you refuse to go there. It's just too offensive to bend your convictions and the truth to get a few more clicks. And I think that's what they're doing.
Liz, 1,000%. I am in such agreement with you on this. And you're right. It's for many of them, it's about the almighty dollar. When you're, and we use the example, it's like, okay, let's just say for your entire career, you've been pro-life and pro-Israel. And then one day you announce I'm pro-choice and I'm, anti-Israel. And all of a sudden you're driving around in a, Rolls Royce and you're buying beachside property. You're wondering, wait a second, was this some sort of a genuine ideological shift, or are you being paid to change your opinion? And, you hate to think that, but the reality is they're calling people like Mark Levin. I mean, just think about this. Mark Levin, President Trump, Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham now are, I guess, enemies of the state, according to a lot of these podcasters and influencers.
It's absurd. It's absurd. It's hateful, and it's totally divisive, as you said. But again, I just hope that there are enough people with common sense, again, who do their own homework and kind of come to their own realizations. For me, probably the greatest outrage is that they've turned on Winston Churchill. Oh, my God. Anybody who has read anything about the history of World War II reveres Winston Churchill. He was a bold, courageous leader at a time when otherwise England, frankly, would have been gone. I mean, they needed someone to stand up and lead that country in a perilous time. I'll tell you what, I think Donald Trump is that person here in our country today. And I cannot explain to you. Anyway, the answer is I relegate them in my head to a fringe, nonsensical group. I could be wrong. It could be that they are hurting him. But when you look at the polling, Todd, it doesn't really seem that way. It seems like most of the people who voted for Donald Trump are still pretty much on his team.
Yeah, I think so. And again, there's a lot to wash out between now and an election day. And, we'll see how all this plays out. But I think alarm bells should be sounding. I'm been really disappointed in the RNC. I just don't see them being effective anywhere right now. And I don't know what that's all about, but they've got to get it together.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's not like they don't have money. They do. And I don't know whether they're spending it in the wrong places. I don't know. I mean, in New York, where I live, you can't really read much from that because the New York Republican Party is sclerotic at best. That's the best description I can give it, and not very aggressive. But elsewhere, for example, in this little special election in Florida, I also think, Todd, in a place like this, my guess is, or in a place like South Florida, there's a certain complacency. I mean, this area has been pretty much Republican-dominated, Republican successful for so long. Maybe they're just not. I'm guessing they just didn't think it was a big challenge, and so the RNC may not have gotten involved here. I don't know.
Just to show you how crazy people are, just before you came on, of course, the president was in Memphis to do the big round table and got a chance to be with the president and the attorney general. And people here are just so excited and delighted. And they invited a local business owner. His name is Tim Pew. They own a flower shop here, very successful flower shop. And he was just explaining, he was invited on the panel as a businessman to say, we've had to lock down our flower trucks have been stolen during deliveries. It's insane. Do you realize the flower shop is now coming under attack because he dared accept the president's invitation? It's insane.
Oh, how sad. it's a little bit like the hockey team, men's hockey team, getting blasted by so many people for going to the Oval Office, going to the White House to meet President Trump. If you were a young person and you had just achieved a marvelous victory in the Olympics and represented our country, don't you think you deserve to go to the White House if you want to and if you're invited?
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, I really, again, the level of hatred that I see out there for President Trump is, I've never seen anything like it focused on one person. Interestingly, I talked to some people who had dinner at Mar-a-Lago the other night. He was there, and they said he was in a great mood. You know, he was clearly enjoying himself. I mean, the amazing thing is it isn't getting to him, Todd. How can it not get to him? He is so sure that what he's doing is the best thing he can be doing for our country, that I think all these attacks from the left are just sort of bouncing off him like ping pong balls. He just doesn't care. And good for him, because he isn't cowering in his corner. He's not Chuck Schumer, scared to death of AOC primarying him. Trump knows he's got to do what he's got to do. He only has 2 more years left, or 2.5. And so he's going to do what he thinks is right. And boy, that's a great place to be.
It really is. And let me tell you something. He was in a great mood in Memphis, and he was so excited. He got a private tour of Graceland, and the man was in hog heaven. I mean, he's living his best life. So,
well, good for him. He deserves it after all they've thrown at him, all the nastiness and the vilification and, 2 attempts on his life, etc. I got to tell you, if he wants to go to Graceland and have a good time, he sure deserves that.
And Liz Peek, there's no excuse. The president has visited the Jungle Room. Now we need to get Liz Peek down to Tennessee.
I will do that one of these days. I would love to do
We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. All right, Liz.
Yeah, thank you.
Great analysis as always. LizPeek.com. Have a great one, Liz.
You too. Take care.
All right. Great lady right there. Could you imagine Liz Peek doing like karaoke, like Hunk of Burning Love or something like that, Dylan? I guarantee you she's got a good singing voice.
She seems like she would, like a secret talent.
Right? No, I'm telling you. We need to have like a family radio show reunion.
Yes.
Bring all the listeners, everybody comes to. I'm wondering, we should ask our listeners, would you guys like to do something like that? And we could do the whole radio show. We could have Liz and Mary Walter and Steve Gill, all those folks on stage together.
And we have to sing karaoke, obviously.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Maybe we do the whole thing at Graceland. They got a great hotel over there. We could just do the whole thing over there.
Sounds like a great time.
By the way, Jeff Stein says, Todd, we're celebrating National Ag Day, Farmer Appreciation Luncheon. And all I can tell you is they eat well in Iowa. Oh, I got the pork there, cornbread. Looks like something corn pudding maybe. I don't know. Corn casserole. Stein will give us an update on the menu. Anyway, well, happy National Ag Day to all of our good friends over in farm country. We got to take a break, going right to the phones. 901-260-5926. What do you guys think about this? Should we do like a weekend, Todd Starnes Show family reunion? 901-260-5926. We'll be right back.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNS and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern, the Todd Starnes Show on Newsmax. Chase Johnston joins us. He's the star of the High Point University basketball team. Also, Congressman Andy Ogles joins us. And we're going to be talking to a lady who uncovered a huge scandal at a school out in Washington State, an anti-Trump art teacher. By the way, speaking of Newsmax, they've got a wonderful deal free of charge for all of our listeners. There's a new study out that shows 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they need or they deserve from Social Security. But we have discovered 5 key strategies to increase your benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. It's all in a free special report courtesy of Newsmax. Give them a call. You can get it free, 800-999-9690. That's 800-999-9690. That's call now, 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply. Let's go to North Carolina. Charles is on the line. Hi, Charles. What's going on?
Hey, Todd. I was just listening to you, the conversation you were having with Liz Peek, and just wanted to weigh in on that. I'm concerned about what happened in Florida at the state level as well. But, Todd, I think what's going on there is all an indicator of just a lack of enthusiasm among Republican voters because of the Republicans' lack of getting anything done at the national level. I think that people are just getting weary and they're getting ticked off. And case in point is this SAVE Act, Todd. I mean, you've got 80% of the country in supermajorities of Democrats, Republicans, and Independents that want this thing passed, and yet it's not passed. And I don't understand. You spoke with President Trump last week, and maybe you guys talked about this. If so, I'd like to hear about it. But I think that the president needs to do like an address to the nation to give it more of a sense of urgency. And he needs to explain to the American people what the SAVE Act is and why we need to pass it, given everything that happened in 2016, 2020, the 15 million illegal aliens, assassinations attempt, all of this stuff. He needs to go before the nation, lay it out, and just demand that this act is going to pass. And he's going to invoke Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution, which is an emergency legislative session of Congress. He can do both houses or just one, but emergency session of the Senate, and tell John Thune that the senators are not leaving Washington, D.C. until they pass the SAVE Act. That can be 1 week. It can be 7 months. But they're staying there and they're doing their jobs. We haven't come this far to risk losing it all by allowing a bunch of illegal aliens to influence the 26 and 28 election. It's just that important.
Well, it is important, and we're Charles. I'm going to talk more about this coming up in just a few moments at the top of the next hour. I have a lot to say about that, and the big concern now is senators going into recess possibly without voting on the SAVE Act. If that happens, we're going to have major problems in the midterms. Charles, it's a great thought. Hang tight, everybody. Got to take a break. 901-260-5926 is our number. That's 901-260-5926. We'll be right back, everybody. You're going to stick around and hear what I've got to say.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Patriot Mobile's all-U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT, code Todd.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
Jesus is not welcome in a New York high school because educators say our Lord is not inclusive. Kennedy Canales is a student at Plattsburgh Senior High School. She petitioned leadership to start a Jesus Club. School leaders signed off on another kid's secular club, but the Jesus Club was rejected. Kennedy was told that her club was not inclusive. Instead, they recommended a more generic name like the Faith Club. They said the club could not be overtly Christian. Now, the American Center for Law and Justice now representing Kennedy. They say the school violated the Equal Access Act. Under the law, public schools must allow religious clubs equal terms. So if you let the non-Christians have a club, you got to let the Christians have a club. The law, mighty clear. And the notion that Jesus is not inclusive is simply not true. The Bible clearly quotes our Lord as offering a personal invitation to everybody. Come unto me all who are weary and burdened. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, hello. Just want to give you an update here. Chucky Schumer has decided it's his way or the highway. He says there will be no compromise, that Republicans must capitulate to every single one of their demands when it comes to reopening Homeland Security. Ladies and gentlemen, at some point, we're either going to have to determine that the Democrats are in control of Washington, or we're going to have to light a fire under these Republicans. But Chuck Schumer is doubling down now and saying they will not be making a deal with Republicans. They say Republicans have to capitulate on everything. All right. Wow. We'll keep you updated, but that's what's going on. By the way, may I just say something here about Florida and the fact that the Florida Republicans just lost 2 House seats last night. President Trump, Mar-a-Lago now being represented by a Democrat. One of the reasons why is that there's a sense of complacency. And you heard Liz Peete talking about this. Do you realize that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis did not put out any messages yesterday urging people to get out and vote, urging Republicans to get out and vote? Now, I'm just telling you, I am seeing this at the local level. I'm seeing this kind of attitude at the state level and now at the national level, where these Republicans think that you guys owe them something, that the Republicans don't have to work for anything. And I've seen this holier-than-thou attitude coming from a lot of these Republicans. And a lot of them, and I told the story yesterday of one Republican leader, and they wanted to do something nice for the donors, for the big dollar donors. So they bought these little White House Christmas ornaments, and they put them in wrapping paper with Donald Trump's face on it. And they said, no, we can't do that. We're moving on. We're moving on from Trump. So there's a lot of that going on here. Well, you know what? Donald J. Trump is still your president, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know who in the Republican Party needs to hear that, but Donald J. Trump is still your president. And the fact that we're not knocking down doors for every single election, that is incredibly disturbing to me. As a matter of fact, most people in Florida didn't even realize on the Republican side of the aisle, they didn't even realize there was an election yesterday. So it's time to have a swift kick in the pants when it comes to the Republicans, because they are they're heading towards a cliff. I want to read to you what generated a lot of controversy, a lot of buzz on X yesterday, late last night. Here's what I posted. And again, I try to, I speak more bluntly to you, this great radio audience, because I know you guys know where I'm coming from, and you kind of hear the tone and the tenor of my words, and you know it's all coming from a good spot. I don't really begrudge anybody. I don't hate anybody. I want the Republicans to do good, because it's just too dangerous. The unthinkable is just unthinkable, which is why it's unthinkable. Think about it. That makes sense. This is what I wrote. Senate Republicans never had any intention of passing the Save America Act. It's kabuki theater, by the way. That's what's going. It's kabuki theater. Pardon me. Let me continue. And there will likely not be any other votes of consequence between now and the midterms. It's it. That's it. What we have done is done. Make no mistake, John Thune and his leadership team have betrayed the American people and their president, and they don't care. They don't care, not one bit. They sabotaged the president's agenda from day one. Their behavior may likely cost Republicans the House and the Senate, and they deserve to lose. However, you knew there was a however coming. However, President Trump does not deserve to be impeached, and that's exactly what would happen if the Democrats regain control. So we can't let that happen for Donald Trump's sake. Let's spare President Trump and the First Lady the agony of endless investigations and trumped-up charges. I say this, re-elect the gutless gutter snipes. We can deal with the jackassery of John Thune and his cowardly band of traitors in 2028. Our president deserved better, and so did America First voters. But we got screwed by the Republicans. And that has generated thousands, tens of thousands of comments and reactions on social media. Did I get it right, ladies and gentlemen? 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. That was one of the conversations I had with Pete Sessions, great congressman out of Texas, and he's frustrated. I think a lot of people in the House, and by the way, the House has been doing their job. It's the Senate that's holding all of this up. I want you to take a listen to Congressman Sessions. All right, joining me now, Congressman Pete Sessions from Texas. All right, you heard the president there, Congressman. He previously said, by the way, there would be no deal on Homeland Security unless the Save America Act was passed. What do you make of all of this?
Well, it's a problem. The problems that happen when you look at the long lines that are at airports across the country at a very difficult time. It's called spring break, when the commerce of this country is already reeling with a little bit of indecision around world affairs. So I think that what our Senate colleagues are attempting to do is to fund DHS minus ICE, as I understand it. Does that make sense? Well, I think funding the airport operations, funding the things that need to take place. You know, there was a huge storm in Hawaii over the weekend, and while I still held, at least as of this morning, the belief that I would hold the position I was in, but know that two senators from Hawaii would be in trouble, I'm willing to listen.
Congressman, I just don't get this. We've been down this path so many times where Senate Republicans hold the majority and they always give it up. There really is no compromise here. It's really capitulating to what the Democrats want. Kristi Noem's already out. Democrats were pretty adamant about that. Seems to me that's the compromise. So let's get this thing done and let's go ahead and fund everybody. But if the Republicans capitulate on this, Congressman, I don't see that this is going to be a win for our side of the aisle.
Well, I want to completely agree with you. As I told you, I have not gone that direction yet. But for me to say that I do not want to listen to what the idea might be would be foolish. The bottom line is that I feel like that the two senators from Hawaii, after the 18-inch rain and the billion-dollar damage, they need FEMA. They need FEMA operating. And I don't know where the trigger point would be where we would ever gain the upper hand. And the ICE operations are vitally important to this nation. They're vitally important to rule of law. They're vitally important to the things that we as Republicans agreed that we would do. To back away from that, once again, is not something that I'm for. But you asked me about this, and I think it would not be a Pete Sessions-like thing to say I'm not willing to at least listen to what some of my colleagues from the Senate believe.
No. Look,
I don't have to agree with them.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. No, I get that. And look, I can respect that position. And there's nothing wrong with listening. House Freedom Caucus, they're responding to all of this, the new plan to pass the Save America Act. Guys, if we can get that up on the screen, please. Here's what they had to say. It may not even be possible under the Senate's arcane rules and would allow Democrats to offer unlimited amendments on the bill. This is gaslighting. The American people are not stupid and will not accept more failure theater from Republicans. And I have to imagine the House Freedom Caucus referring to whatever's happening with the Save America Act, which I've already prepared my radio audience for. I don't think that's going to get out of the Senate.
Well, you know what? It may or may not get out of the Senate, but we are for the bill and should take it as far as we can and highlight those that are not. And I think finding a side door, a back door, or a trap door out of this issue is not something that I would be for. But I'm willing to listen, I think that we will hear volumes about it.
About to back up and bring it. You're with Todd Starnes.
Hey everybody, Todd Starnes here, and I've got to tell you about my friends at PhD Weight Loss, my very good friends at PhD Weight Loss. I'm down 12 pounds already, and at PhD Weight Loss, they've identified that one thing, and they built a plan that works with your body and not against it. If you call now, they're going to give you 2 free weeks in the program and pay for your food so you can finally see real results without more trial and error. If you're done with the yo-yo dieting and you want clarity, call PhD Weight Loss now and mention Starnes. No more guessing, just answers. Call 864-644-1900 and say Starnes. You're going to get 2 free weeks. You can't miss out on this, folks. 864-644-1900. Say the word Starnes or visit PhDweightLoss.com. That's PhDweightLoss.com. The phone number, one more time, 864-644-1900, and say Starnes.
At a time when technology is often used to distort truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI created to help you understand God's Word and grow in your faith. Many Christians have tried using online AI tools for Bible questions only to get vague, misleading, or even unbiblical answers. That concern is real. Technology untethered from truth can quickly lead to confusion. That's exactly why Leading the Way created My Faith Assistant. This isn't a generic chatbot. It's a closed, theologically vetted system built on Scripture, seminary-level resources, and more than 50 years of faithful teaching from pastor and scholar Dr. Michael A. Youssef. My Faith Assistant can help you get personalized guidance, clear theological answers, trusted biblical teaching, access to pastors and prayer teams, and deeper Bible study, all in one place. Over 50,000 people already trust it. It's free, requires no login, and it's built not for clicks, but for Christ. Try it now at myfaithassistant.com.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. Let's go right to the phone lines. Gainesville, Georgia, WDUN. Alan is with us. Hi, Alan. What's on your mind?
Hi, Todd, and thanks for letting us have a voice with you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you would talk a little bit about the hierarchy as the Senate and the Congress use to select their leaders. I've looked at things for the last several years. I watched Jim Jordan, be passed over, and somebody, from California gets in and does nothing. Ted Cruz in the Senate, who's been a leader for years and years in the Republican Conservative Caucus, he gets passed over, and somebody like Boone gets put in. He sits on his hands. How does that work, that these people have the power to get in there when we know they're not the real outstanding conservatives?
Well, I'm going to do my best to answer that question for you, Alan, and it's a great question. First and foremost, John Thune is all about the money, and this guy has been able to raise a lot of money for a lot of these Republican senators, and ultimately that trumps any loyalty that the senators might have for their home states. So they are no longer beholden at that point to the voters and say, a Georgia, for example, or wherever else. Well, you guys have two Democrats, but let's say, we'll say North Carolina. They're not beholden to you good people in North Carolina. No. They're actually beholden to John Thune. So you have to go back, and a lot of this is done in secret, Alan. So it was a secret vote. Mitch McConnell stepping down. John Thune was the longtime whip. And there was a secret ballot. Thune, John Cornyn, and Rick Scott. Of course, many conservatives wanted to go with Rick Scott. And it turned out that John Thune actually won that secret ballot. So really, it's a continuation of the policies of Mitch McConnell is what we're looking at here.
Wow. That's just terrible. We should move with what's happening with the presidency. I mean, that ought to be a focus when we go out and have a national election and we want to change in this country. We should change leadership to that direction of where we're headed, especially people in the Republican conservative side. The Democrats all seem to agree on everything. We have differences, and we have people in the presidency who can't get support by our own senators and congressmen. And that's where we need our leadership to be, following who we elect to lead this nation.
Isn't that amazing, Alan, that right now the biggest opposition to Donald Trump is coming from members of his own political party?
Yes.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and it is something that we are going to have to address with our elected senators. I mean, that's going to be the big challenge here. Alan, appreciate the call. Thank you for that. Well, time now for the mailbag. We actually have some nice mail. Normally it's not all that nice. I'm going to tell you. Sometimes people can be unkind. Dylan, I know that seems to be a shock to you.
It is surprising that people could be mean to us.
Well, here's one from Memphis, Tennessee. Dear Todd, you're a whitey jackass.
That's not nice.
Here's another from Chris. Why you be blanking lying with multiple emojis after? That's not very kind. Oh, here's the nice one. I was scrolling down. I was trying to find it.
How far did you have to scroll?
A long time. We're getting a lot of hate mail these days. A lot of hate mail. This is from North Carolina. Hello, Todd. I've been thinking a long time about the Save America Act. I called my Senator Ted Budd and told him they need to pass the SAVE Act, but all you hear is we don't have the votes to pass it. Look at Tom Tillis. We had Tom or a Democrat. They know you won't vote Democrat. So he voted against the people of North Carolina and did not care. Thank God he will be gone not soon enough. I think one way to wake up all these Republican lawmakers, if all the registered Republicans change their voter registration to unaffiliated, Democrats will think the MAGA movement's over. Republicans will have to work to ensure we will vote for them. Todd, your show has millions and millions of people listening. Just think if 1 million people change their status, the rhinos would have to pay attention. Thank you. Love your show. You replaced the empty space in my heart after Rush left this earth. Oh, that'd make a nice bumper sticker.
A long bumper sticker. Sorry.
Put it on an SUV.
That was very nice.
It's terrible. Come on, Dylan. Signed, Gunny Sergeant Michael, U.S. Marine Corps retired.
Now I feel bad.
Yeah, you better feel bad. Good Lord, man. What's wrong with you? You know what? I'm going to get more hate mail now. Thanks a lot, Dylan.
My bad.
Thanks a lot. Well, Gunny Sergeant, God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for those kind words. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, by the way, Ed Henry's calling me from Newsmax. I don't know what that's all about, but I'll call him in the break. Ed, hang tight. I'll get back to you momentarily. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. All right, coming up, our guys from Strategic Financial Partners, they're going to help you out. They're going to take your calls today, right? So there's no agenda. We're going to have a little bit of fun, and many of you may have a financial question. You know, you got the IRS, you got to fill out your tax returns, all this kind of stuff you got to do. And some of you may have some just honest-to-goodness questions, and they're going to answer those. All you have to do is pick up the phone and give us a call. And by the way, if you don't want to go on air, we'll just take your number, and the guys will call you back off air because they're just super nice like that. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. Again, that number, 901-260-5926. Adam Martin and Chris Loftus from Strategic Financial Partners, their website, strategicfinancialpartners.com. And we want you to call in now because that segment's going to go by pretty quickly. So if you have a question for the guys, give us a call now, 901-260-5926. We're going to start with a kindergarten teacher in Texas. It turns out that she's making $7,500 a month, and she cannot pay her bills. And so we're going to try to, maybe the guys will be able to help out this kindergarten teacher. And she explains what she's spending all of her money on. Again, our number, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us. Again, our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Every Wednesday, always a pleasure, always an honor to have our friends from Strategic Financial Partners on with us. Adam Martin, a financial advisor, and Chris Loftus, a financial services rep. By the way, the website, strategicfinancialpartners.com. Guys, good to see you today.
Good seeing you.
How's it going?
I'm pretty good. You know, Trump was in town.
I was about to say that. I actually saw the president, not directly, but my plane was flying into Memphis International on Monday, and I saw him just taking off as we were pulling in. So.
That's something you don't see every day.
Not every day.
Not at all.
Did you see the picture of the Beast in front of Graceland?
That looked pretty sweet.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I've lived here my whole life, never stepped foot in Graceland.
Is that right?
That's right.
What is wrong with you? Why is it's kind of like people in New York City. They never go to the Statue of Liberty.
You know, it's just one of those things that just kind of out of sight, out of mind. My wife and I obviously had a different walk of life with a 1-year-old, so we're going to places like the zoo and the Children's Museum. We're not going to Graceland. So
I love that.
I love the part where Trump walked in the door and they said, "Welcome, Mr. President, to the second most visited house in the country. Believe it or not, your house is number 1." So,
it's true. Yeah, the White House, number 1, and number 2 is Graceland.
Yeah, it's just fitting, just to have that in Memphis.
It really is.
Cool.
It was a fun. I hate that he didn't get down to Beale Street, but that would have been, get him down to Rum Boogie or something like that.
You'd probably need more Secret Service help going down to Beale Street.
Just a smidge.
Hey, Silky's with the president. That would be fun.
Silky's. Is that the one with the goats?
It is. That is it. Yeah, that's right.
The diving goats.
Yep.
Right.
Diving goats. That and the what is it? The Blarney Stone. The Blarney Stone. They have a stone from a castle in Ireland or Scotland or something like that.
Wow.
And you kiss it for good luck. So I say that as somebody who's heard about that. I've not done it myself personally.
We are going to be taking questions from callers today. If any of you guys have a financial question, they're going to be able to call in, and you guys are going to, give them some good guidance.
We'll do our best.
I love that.
Well, you have a lot of people out there in a lot of seasons of life, Todd, that are, they probably have not some specific things that they're thinking about or worrying about that they'd like to get answered. And whether Adam and I come on here or not with a specific topic, we want to make sure those are addressed and we're taking care of people's needs.
Well, I think it's a great service that you guys provide, and I want to give that number out, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I want to start with some audio. This is a kindergarten teacher in Texas, and she's having a very difficult time. She has generated widespread discussion on social media. She revealed that she's bringing home $7,500 a month as a kindergarten teacher, and it's not covering all of her bills.
Well, I would like to know what part of the country a kindergarten teacher gets $7,500 a month.
Yeah, that's what, $90,000 a year. Yeah, that's pretty good money. So let's take a listen.
How much my paycheck is as a Texas teacher of kindergarten and what I do with it. So my direct deposit hit today. It was $7,500.81. I did pay the rent at our condo because I am responsible for that. That was $3,581. Some change. I'm just going to round everything up here. My utilities for the month at the condo were $1,200. My gym membership is $251 a month. I had groceries delivered this month twice for a total of $548. I did not have enough money this month to move anything to savings. The payment on my G-Wagon is $1,548. I didn't do anything for my kids this month because it was a tight month. As you know, teachers do not make a lot. And then I did get my hair done twice and my nails, totaling $500. I didn't get gas this month. That was my husband's bill. After I add everything up, it was a grand total of negative $124. And that I'll borrow from a friend. I love being a teacher.
Oh, Job, she's not a math teacher.
Ooh.
So, some thoughts.
Well, this is as simple as it gets. We always talk about priorities. What do you prioritize? And what I gathered in that is that family and children and getting ahead in life is not much of a priority as it is to a status of $3,000 plus in rent, not even owning your home, and a G-Wagon. Is that necessary for your lifestyle, Yeah,
that's an interesting bit there because you see the temptation is, Todd, to get the shiny thing, right? It's to get the toys. Well, that's all well and good, but guess what? Guess what toys don't do? Toys do not appreciate. In fact, they very much depreciate very quickly. In fact, so that's very interesting. And I understand. Yeah, we are very sympathetic to teachers. Thank you for your service out there. If you're a teacher. Because that is a very difficult job, and you're right on the money there. Teachers do not get paid enough, but with $7,500 a month, there's definitely some expenses there that are, again, less of needs and more of status, more of wants, and more of just trying to fulfill that status. So that's disappointing to hear that was the case, because how many people across the country are in that situation?
It's a great point, and especially, and I don't want to, target generations here, but Gen Z and millennials especially, they are living well beyond their means, and, they're spending their money on a lot of things that I would say other generations would consider frivolous. I mean, for example, going to Starbucks every day, dropping $5-6, on coffee that you could, make much cheaper at home. And then this whole thing something called avocado toast. I never have understood that.
Well, I think we live in a world of social status. Maybe social media is to blame for that. But what I would tell a lot of people is separate your own situation from somebody else's and think about, okay, what's causing a pain point in my life? Obviously, this was a big stressor for her. She wanted to put it out there that, hey, I make $7,500, but I don't have nothing to show for it. And what we would say in that meeting is just, okay, can we reprioritize what you're wanting to use your money to do for you? And put less emphasis on keeping up with the Joneses and more emphasis on how do I get ahead, and we would be in a better position.
We tell people a lot they really need to suspend their own disbelief. And what does that mean? That means, hey, look, take a good look in the mirror and say, okay, is this really necessary for me to have right now? Versus, like in terms of the tangible items in life, versus taking care of my kids and putting things away for retirement and putting things in savings for a rainy day when the storm comes. And guess what? The storm will come at some point where you will need that. Another question that we'd probably ask is, guess what? Where is the husband in all this, right? Dual income household, that being able to partner that and figure out a game plan, those go hand in hand with each other.
I was wondering about that because she did mention she's got the husband there. And so, okay, is that a joint account or do they have their own separate accounts? And, have you guys ever experienced that where, married couples come in and say, okay, how do we do this?
We do it. I do with that a lot, actually, where I want the husband and wife to be on the same team because it creates less friction and it's an easier path going forward if everybody's on the same page. But, yeah, we deal with it a lot where it's like, hey, this is my money. It's our agreement in our marriage that what I bring to the table, that's what I get to use to spend, and how they want to allocate it towards retirement or investments or whatever, that's their decision to make. We don't do these things jointly. So it's very common, and obviously in that little radio clip, she said that the gas was her husband's bill, so I'd imagine that they do their finances that way.
We encounter quite a few couples, actually, where I'm thinking of two specifically. They came in on day one. They looked at us and said, we give each other an allowance, which I thought was hysterical because you're like, well, it's y'all's money. So who makes that decision? It's like, well, it's a way for each other to hold ourselves accountable, because how often are we tempted? We go down the road and we see the In-N-Out burger sign light up, or the Whataburger sign light up, or the Starbucks, and we go, oh, that's something I need. Well, not necessarily if you are operating off of an allowance and a budget strictly. And that way it's keeping it separate from the household expenses and everything like that. You're able to prioritize what actually matters right now versus the wants.
And that's the thing, is understanding what, again, when you, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we lived in a relatively small home. I mean, it would be teeny tiny compared to today's statuses. So you wonder, even today, are people living well, beyond their means? And how do we get back to going back to those days of being frugal?
Well, I think it's really when they have that aha moment. I mean, we always say, like, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make it drink. And part of what we do as financial advisors is we have to be those life coaches. We have to be the ones that present the difficult conversations to them and force them to talk about it. Because I'd imagine this, today her lifestyle is keeping up with the Joneses and having a status that she wants to project out to everybody. But maybe when she's older and all those things don't matter anymore, she may have an epiphany and say, what was I thinking?
I always think about Warren Buffett, who still lives in the same house that he lived in before he became a bazillionaire, still goes through the drive-thru at McDonald's, to get his breakfast.
It's the same thing every time.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot for us to learn there.
Well, consistency for one, right? Less trying to just one-up the next person on social media or a neighbor. With the nice car, or the nice food, or the $8 coffee that doesn't even taste good at the end of the day. But being able to look down and say, okay, hey, I can do this. This is manageable, and it gives me room to grow. not to where I'm having to feel like I'm having to catch up.
It's a great point. All right, we've got Adam Martin and Chris Loftus with us from Strategic Financial Partners. StrategicFinancialPartners.com is the website. And if you have a question, give us a call, 901-260-5926. Or if you have a suggestion for this kindergarten teacher, 901-260-5926. I remember when I was growing up and going through school, we had to take a home finance course, right? So it was part of, getting ready to graduate, learning how to, balance a checkbook and do all those things. And you wonder, are they teaching kids those skills in modern day schools?
Well, I tell you, I think they could definitely do a better job at that. And one of the things that our firm actually does is we partner with the Junior Achievement of Memphis, and we do go to classrooms, and then we give them a little educational seminar about, how to balance a checkbook or how to take control of your finances when you start making money. And I firmly believe if we want to see a shift in our generations ahead, we've got to do a better job at educating them.
To add something to that, something I've noticed is that, or I'll use a story for this. One of my earliest memories when it comes to finance is my dad taking me to when it was SunTrust Bank and opening up a bank account, and I got my very first checkbook. And he sat down with me that night and taught me line by line how to craft a monthly budget with all my expenses accounted for. We can talk about a generational failure all that we want, but I bet you there's probably a lot of parents out there that are not sitting down with their kids and walking them through how to do that on an individual basis. We talk about business expenses a lot. We talk about household expenses a lot. But when it comes to personal expenses, that starts early, especially when it comes down to, putting the pedal to the metal and saying, okay, hey, we are only going to spend this amount. This is within our means. We're not going to go above this. So it's very easy to fall into that trap.
For me, it was really my dad was the same way. And it's like, you turn a certain age, you get your first job. You get a little part-time job. You start earning money. When it was time to buy a car, I ended up buying my grandpa's old, what was that? A Lou. It was a little pickup truck. What was the low?
I love that. Was it Chevy, Ford?
It was a Ford. It was a Ford. No.
That's awesome.
What was the name of it? It was a low-slung truck. It was really cool with sparkly baby blue paint. So it was the pride of Whitehaven.
I was about to say, everybody knew who was driving down the road when they passed by that truck.
Heck yeah. But you know what? I had to make sure that I had enough money coming in to pay for gas and pay for insurance. And those were the big things. And you nowadays, you watch these kids, and they're driving like brand new cars off the dealership, and you're like, holy cow, what kind of lessons are you teaching those kids? And by the way, they're going to be wrecking that vehicle.
No doubt. I mean, and
El Camino. Sorry, I knew it was going to come to me.
There you go.
An El Camino.
Opportunity often disguises itself as work. To be disciplined, you have to work at that. And when we think about, like, how do I get ahead, it's being disciplined, sticking to a plan. That's what we're here to do, is get in front of you and identify it. So if I was speaking to that teacher, I'd say, here's what I see are the issues, and how do you want to address this? Are you willing to give up paying as much as you do every month for a car that's not necessary? We could get from A to B with a cheaper car. That's going to free up cash flow for you. Do we have to spend as much on our manicures, pedicures, and our hair?
Gym membership.
Gym memberships, go outside, lift something heavy for free, But I'm not saying we have to go to the extremes. We want you to continue to live the life you want, but we're going to help you figure out how to free up those dollars so that we can address the things that are inevitable. I mean, you're going to quit work at some point in your life. How do you pay your bills if we don't have anything stored away for retirement?
It's a great point.
I mean, Social Security is going through its turmoils now. I hope that it's there, but what if that's not there? How do we live in retirement?
You look at other cultures as well, guys. I was, I'm trying to figure out, do I really want to buy a house, or am I happy being in a condo where everything is taken care of? And then it's like I got the call, maybe you need to go ahead and start making plans for the forever home. But in a lot of societies, that never happens. It's like mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, everybody, at least back in this country, it used to be that way. But now, the families seem to be disjointed. And I think there was a movement at some point in the country for people to, kick the kids out of the house when they're 18 years old. But now it looks like people are going back to that, let's keep all the family under one roof.
Yeah, and I did see a statistic the other day where the average age of home buyers is getting lower and lower. I think there was like a 30% increase for first-time home buyers of age 36. And so I'm glad to see that trend coming back. You know, one of the things that she mentioned was that she pays rent. You're getting no equity, and you're paying over $3,000 a month for something that you rent. The home, for a lot of young people, is the first place where they really start to see substantial net worth because the equity in their home increases.
Yeah, that's amazing. Guys, where can people go if they want to get more information? And you guys are just do an incredible job. And I know a lot of folks wandering around, driving around, going to lunch out on the West Coast. But you guys, where can they go if they want to get more intel?
They can call us directly. My phone number is 901-260-2438, and my email is adammartin@strategicfinancialpartners.com.
And my number is 901-657-3324, and my email is cloftus, Loftis, @strategicfinancialpartners.com. And Todd, they're going to find not just our names and numbers on there. They're going to find basically the core of what we do and why we do it and how we do it on that website. We make it a very streamlined, very easy to reach us, and we work with a lot of different people in a lot of different seasons of life, and we're able to make some significant impact when it comes to people and their long-term planning.
I love that. Guys, always good seeing you. And again, Strategic Financial Partners, the website address, strategicfinancialpartners.com. Go and check them out. These are the good guys, and they're going to take very good care of you. Great to see you, fellas.
You too.
We'll be right back.
It's Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. You know you have lots of choices for cell phone service with new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American and believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. The good news is you can switch to Patriot Mobile today without sacrificing quality or service. Worried about coverage? Don't be. Patriot Mobile uses all three major U.S. networks. If you have service in this country today, you'll have as good or better coverage with Patriot Mobile. Think switching is a hassle? Well, it's not. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's 100% U.S.-based team will get you activated in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Stuck in a contract or owe money on your phones? No worries. Patriot Mobile has a contract buyout program. This is how we win, folks, by aligning our spending with our values. Every dollar we spend matters. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. You know, Elizabeth, with everything going on in the world these days, it can feel like a lot of things are out of control, you know? But one thing I decided I could control was my health. I started taking Calitrin before bed, and I'll tell you, I'm starting to see the weight come off, and I'm feeling better, too.
And, Todd, that's exactly what I love hearing, because most people think that they have to do something extreme to get healthier, and that's just not true. It's really about the small, consistent choices. And when you find something simple that you can stick with, like taking Calitrin at night, those little decisions start adding up in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just take Calitrin before bed. I'm starting to see results. It's from a family-owned American company. It's time to start feeling better and getting healthier. This is a great place to begin. And if you want to learn more, well, you can check it out at tophealthsource.com. That's tophealthsource.com. Be sure to use promo code Todd.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, and we sure do appreciate those guys coming by. Strategic Financial Partners. You know, we talk about ways to fix what's broken in America. One of them is teaching kids about what it means to balance your checkbook, what it means to have a budget for your household, and those are things that really moms and dads ought to be teaching their kids. But we also need to be affirming that and basically bolstering that in the schools. And so we certainly appreciate Adam and Chris coming by every Wednesday to offer their guidance and their thoughts. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. We're going to be back at it tomorrow. Again, a lot happening around the country. A lot of conservatives gathering in CPAC. President Trump will not be there, by the way, but there's a big conference of conservatives there in Dallas. All right, ToddStarnes.com, folks. Don't forget, download the podcast. Be sure to get our newsletter. All sorts of great content for you. Get out there and have a good one, everybody.